Hello guys, welcome back to another weekend reading vlog. I am not entirely sure what the reading plans for this weekend are. I have just finished a book. It is Friday evening, by the way. I've just finished a book. I don't really want to get started on my October TBR because it's not October yet. But also, if I read another big book that might take me a while, then it's going to run over into October because it's October on Sunday. So I'm thinking of just reading a silly little KU romance, but I don't think that's going to take me the entire weekend to read. It might, depending on how the weekend turns out and if I end up having plans and things. But I feel like I just don't really know what I'm going to be reading this weekend, and it might be quite a mood readery weekend, which is definitely not a bad thing. I'm leaning towards starting off with the next book in the Maggie Rawdon football romance series on KU. I don't know the name of it, but in my KU romances video I read Play Fake and Delay of Game, and I gave them both 4 stars, and the romance that was kind of set up as the third one in those books seemed really interesting to me, and it's just really all I want to read today is that book. I can't stop thinking about it for some reason. So I think we're going to read that tonight, and we're going to have a really wild Friday night reading some Maggie Rawdon, who has become a new favourite romance author for me this year. Love that from her. And then we're just going to mood read and see where the weekend takes us with the reading. So if this all sounds agreeable to you and interesting and you would like to see more of my vlogs, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below and stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday. I had to think about that for a second then. Also, do please feel free to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page and Chapter, because I upload so much over on there, just so many thoughts all of the time. Can't avoid them. So if you somehow are not getting enough content from me, or you would like to see more about romance recommendations and things like that, then my other social medias are the place to get that content. So yeah, I'm just setting up this vlog right now. I've got some stuff to do before we can actually start reading, but I'm very excited to start the next Maggie Rawdon book. I'm not gonna lie, I've really been thinking about it for a while and I just cannot wait. I'm 17% into this book and I am very nervous already. It wasn't really a criticism, but I had a statement of the book 2 in this series, which kind of relied on you having read the first book for there to have really been any character development between the two characters before they jumped in together. And it's kind of the same in this book, except I feel like there has been less relationship development between Ren and Easton in the previous books than in this book. So they've already slept together at 17%, which is something I typically hate in books and what has in the past been a DNF for me. I'm not going to DNF it because there is something just keeping me hooked. Do not know what it is, but I just really want to see what happens between these two, and I really like these characters and I've been looking forward to their story since book 1, but I don't think the development has really been there. Like, for me, I'm enjoying it and I think it's good, but like if anyone were to go into this book on my recommendation, I would be really worried about it, because I feel like this is just a series that I am really enjoying, and I think objectively it's maybe not as good as I thought it was, because we're still having the same issues in book 3. So I don't know, I'm excited and I'm definitely going to keep reading because I've been wanting to read it for ages, but I'm really nervous about it now. I am about 50% into this book. I spent quite a bit of time last night and this morning reading it. It is Saturday morning now, and again I'm feeling conflicted about this book. I am really enjoying it, and I am really enjoying these characters and seeing how everything goes with them. It definitely doesn't feel as well thought out or deliberate as the other books in this series has, and there's definitely way less character development and way more smart than there has been in previous books. I am still enjoying it. I'm really interested to see how Easton and Ren's story goes and works out, and there's really funny moments and really cute moments, and I'm having a very positive experience with this book. It is the type of book that I wanted to read this weekend, and it's really hitting the spot for me, but it is not as good as the other books in this series, and frankly it is like one big porno. It is just sex scene after sex scene after sex scene after sex scene. I wouldn't have minded because it does kind of fit the storyline. Like, these two hate each other and kind of end up in this hate each other with benefits kind of situation, so the multiple smut scenes kind of make sense. And it's the only way that these two know how to communicate or further their relationship with each other, so again it kind of makes sense. But this is very similar plotline to the one we had in book 2, so I'm liking it a little bit less because it's so similar to book 2, except instead of friends to lovers it's now enemies to lovers. But how the story is being told is, it's using the same devices to tell the story, so it's feeling a little bit similar. But I enjoyed book 2 and I am enjoying book 3. As I said, it's really hitting the spot and I'm really enjoying it. It's very light-hearted and easy reading for this Saturday, but it is probably not objectively the best one in this series, and I'm not entirely sure if I would continue with the series, if I'm being honest. It has taken me until 7 PM at night, but I finally read the other 50% of the Maggie Rodden book and I finished it. I was really umming and ahhing about what to give this, I'm not gonna lie, but I decided that I did like it as much, if not more, than the other two in this series. I thought these characters had a lot of chemistry. The main downside to this book was that there was just so much smut in it, which was not for me, and it could have been at least 20% shorter. But I think what saved it was that I did feel like the placement of the sex scenes did further the story, and so I could get behind it a little bit more than other KU romances that just throw scenes in place of relationship development, because I did feel like there was relationship development as well as a load of smut scenes. And I think what really sold this book was the character development of these two. Like, Easton in the other books is a huge playboy and is kind of the villain in like book 1. Like, he's not, but he makes some very bad decisions, which Ren very much holds against him in this book. But once he realizes that he likes her, like, he is all in, and it's very much a he's a complete playboy but he falls first trope, and I thought it was honestly really sweet and I did really enjoy it. And the only thing that was kind of making me want to hedge my bet with my review was like, if someone else reads it based on my review and they don't like it, am I gonna like feel really guilty or something? And that's just a silly reason to consider when reviewing books. So I've given it 4 stars because I actually think that I prefer this to definitely to Play Fake, and I gave Play Fake 4 stars and I definitely think this one is better, so it's only fair to also give it 4 stars. And then in terms of what we're gonna read next, I have been going through my physical TBR list. I have not random number generated it. I was just going through the list to see if anything jumped out at me, and something has, so just give me a second. I was very much supposed to read this over the summer and I kind of forgot that it existed, and I didn't take it on holiday with me and I forgot about it, but it's really calling to me right now, and that is Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating by Christina Lauren. I think what made me nervous of this book is that it is friends to lovers, which typically I don't often enjoy. So this book follows Josh and Hazel, and they are both suddenly single at the same time, I think for like the first time ever. I'm hoping for the first time ever, because that would really help with the why is this relationship development happening right now question. But they decide to set each other up on like blind dates and then double date together, and as they start to fall for each other and connect, then these blind dates that they set each other up on get worse and worse and worse, and it just seems like a very fun little rom-com. Honestly very surprised that this one has not been adapted into a movie yet, because I think it would probably work very well on screen, just plot wise. Obviously I haven't read it, but I just really feel like reading this, even though it's not autumnal, it's not on my autumnal TBR, it's probably not not going to be super cozy, and it's definitely going to be more lighthearted and summery. I'm just really in the mood for it, so that's what we're going to be reading, and then we can save all the cozy autumny books for October. That being said, whilst it might be rom-commy and lighthearted, I still think it could be very cozy and cute if the actual romance is properly developed and I really kind of root for these characters and love their romance. So I think this could be adorable. Very, very excited to start it. I want to finish up cleaning. I've had a very relaxing but productive day. I've been cleaning the house and doing my laundry and editing a video all day, and now that it is 7 p.m. I'm ready to kind of just finish up those tasks and settle in for the night. So it's just putting my covers back on the bed and properly like cleaning up my room, because I've cleaned the rest of the house but I haven't tidied my room today. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing, and I will update you when I start Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, which I'm excited about because I've really enjoyed anything I've read by Christina Lauren in the past. I do enjoy this duo, but I haven't read from them since I have properly gotten into romance, so now that I have more experience of the genre, we'll have to see if it holds up. I got frustrated because my bedsheets still aren't dry and I'm tired of looking at my unmade bed, so I'm downstairs in the living room. I've got some doodles joining me, and it is time to start Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I'm only going to read a chapter or two of this because then I have to edit my video, because I'm not sure how much of it I can get edited tomorrow because I have some plans. We're going out for lunch, but yeah, we're gonna start it here and now, and then I will stop, edit a little bit more, and then go back to reading once my bed sheets are dry and I can truly have that fresh bedding experience, which is just truly one of the best feelings in the entire world. I got to chapter 3 of this book. I feel like quite the idiot. I don't know where I got the idea that this book was set in New York from. It's not. So the main reason that I wanted to read this book has now flown straight out the window, but it has captivated my attention within the first 2 chapters, so I will not be DNFing it and I will be continuing because I think I'm going to really enjoy this book. It's really grabbed my attention. So the reason it's friends to lovers, but this is happening now, is that their friendship is a very new one. We see Hazel and Josh interacting in college, but they're not friends. They're just kind of running into each other and interacting. And then we have a time jump to about 7 years later, I think, and it's the first time that they're seeing each other again since college, and he has a girlfriend. So I don't know if there will be another time jump, but it makes sense now, like why it's friends to lovers, but why the story is taking place at this moment in time. Because I do wonder that with friends to lovers books most of the time. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Not upset that it's not set in New York, but I am going to have to find more rom-coms set in New York so that I can do my research as to how to properly include the setting in the story. But for now I'm going to edit for a little bit. I don't have too much left to edit on this video, and it would just make me feel better if it was done before tomorrow, and I will catch up with you later. I got my video edited and I got 100 pages into Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I'm really enjoying this book. I think it's really cute and just light-hearted and exactly what I thought it would be in terms of tone, and I just feel like I need that right now. I'm feeling very like tired out though, so I'm gonna stop reading for the night. My only criticism of this book really is that our main character Hazel is very not like other girlsy. She's so often described as like being very quirky and Hazel chaos, and she's not sure if she'll ever be able to find love because no one will accept her because she's so like weird and quirky. If you can ignore that aspect, then it's kind of fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying it despite that fact. That is literally the only criticism I have of this book. 100 pages in, I think it is going to be a super fast read, and I'm looking forward to finishing the rest of it tomorrow. But now I just want to kind of take my makeup off and just chill and like not have to worry about vlogging or anything like that for the rest of the night. So I will catch up with you guys in the morning. Good morning guys. It is now Monday because I was terrible yesterday. I basically took a 2-hour nap and then everything fell apart. But I'm continuing this vlog into today, which is Monday, so that we can finish Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Date. It should not take me too long to get this finished, and we will just treat today as if it is Sunday. if I finish this early enough in the day, then I will be starting The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling, which is the sequel to The Eggs Hex, which I really enjoyed last month. So we'll be getting started on the October TBR today if I finish this book, because it is October 2nd today, and October is just a very exciting month. Super excited about it. So basically just gonna sit here for a good couple hours and read this book and see where we get to and what happens, and I will keep you updated this time because I'm going to be a better blogger today. It is 11 o'clock and I have finished Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. This was not as good as The Unhoneymooners, which I gave 5 stars, but again I did read it pre-romance reader era, so maybe I wouldn't agree now. But this was honestly maybe like a 2.5 star. It felt very fast paced. I did, for A Friends to Lovers, really enjoy that they started a friendship and started dating on page, so it was more like didn't know each other to friends to lovers. We didn't start the book with them already being like best friends and then you're wondering like, why is this all happening now? Like that, I don't know. I really enjoyed the structure of the friends to lovers in this book and the fact that that part of it was fast-paced, but I didn't really like the ending or where this book went. I felt like, I don't know. If you like books that don't have a third act conflict, then this is a good example of that, because it does not, but it does have a surprise pregnancy trope. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but I feel like I should mention that it does have a surprise pregnancy trope. This surprise pregnancy is not a trope that I hate, but I didn't like the way that it was done in this book, and I feel like we did not get answers to some of the things surrounding that situation because it's just kind of thrown in the latter stages of the book. It's used in place of any real development, which is when I cannot get behind the trope. When the trope is a reason from the beginning of for these two characters to interact and like a motivation for them to get to know each other or stop like hating each other, then I don't mind it. But in this instance, when it's just kind of thrown in the latter half of the book and it is used in place of any real conversation or like discussion around plot holes and plot points, then I don't like it. So whilst I had a fairly good time with this book, it was a very easy read. I think if I had not napped so much I could have easily read this in a day or two, but it definitely did not blow me away and is probably not Christina Lauren's best. But now we get to start The Kiss Curse, which I will literally be starting right this second. I'm gonna get dressed and then I'm gonna start The Kiss Curse like straight away, because today is just a day of reading. I have a therapy later at 4:30, which means that I feel like I can't do anything for the day because I have to be in central London for 4:30, so I'm just gonna sit here and read until it's time for me to leave basically. It is the evening time and I have finished The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I ended up giving this book 2 stars, sadly. It did not quite hit the way that The Eggs Hex did. I think setting wise, again, I really enjoyed it. I thought the vibes were great. It really does feel like a good Halloween read. It does really set the tone. You still have that Halloween Town / Gilmore Girls vibe that I loved, but the romance in this just wasn't it. It didn't feel like a romance. By the end of the book I really didn't really see any progression between these two characters. They were kind of just giving these declarations of love, but we hadn't really seen any real development from the start. And you know, if you told me this was a fantasy book that had a subtle romance trope, I would have it would have been better. I would have seen it, viewed it better. But because this is a romance, it is sold as a romance, the romance element is supposed to be the central point of this book, it was a huge letdown because the romance didn't really feel like it was the aim of this book, and it didn't feel particularly thought out. Like, the villain was a brand new character that was just introduced. In the last book, Gwyn is pretty much only interested in women, and then in this book she's like interested in Wells. It felt like a very last minute story idea to give Wells and Gwyn a book. It just didn't really feel like it continued from the last book, or that there was any real evidence of planning from the last book, and I ended up giving it 2 stars for that reason. So whilst it was a quick read and the vibes were good, I wasn't really impressed by this book, sadly. So yesterday when I was trying to film, my camera battery was dying, so I'm back today in a different outfit. It's better lighting right now anyway, and we have a doodle here this morning. Look at that face. Look at it. Oh, he's so cute. I love him so much. I read 3 books this weekend, which is honestly quite impressive. I mean, it did roll over into the Monday, but I read the KU book, the next Maggie Rodden book, the Plays and Penalties series, book 3, then read Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating, and The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I feel like it wasn't like the best reading weekend ever, like rating wise. My camera's now focusing on him, which I mean, like, fair, can't really criticize for that, but also it's a little bit annoying that it's doing that. But yeah, I feel like rating wise or like enjoyment of the books wise, it wasn't an incredible weekend of reading. It definitely could have been stronger, but I am super excited to be like into my October TBR now, and that I got to finish this book and you guys got to actually see my thoughts on it. That was the one benefit of rolling over the vlog to the Monday, because I took a fat nap on Sunday and wasted the day away. But yes, even though this video was a little bit kind of here, there and everywhere, I do hope that you enjoyed watching it, seeing what I was reading and hearing my thoughts on some of these books. It was good to get my physical TBR down just a little bit with these. If you guys like seeing reading vlogs and you would like to see more from me, then do please feel free to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Stay tuned for future content. I upload every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, and vlogs happen to be my favourite type of content to film, so if you enjoy seeing vlogs, then there will be plenty more from me in the future. Also, do feel free to check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Page in Chapter, so you can see what I'm reading and how I'm reviewing it in real time. You don't have to wait around for me to edit a video. Also, there's just other fun updates about other fun bookish things going on in my life. So yeah, I hope you guys are having a fantastic week, you're enjoying everything you're reading, and there are no reading slumps in your future, and I will see you for my next video. Bye guys. Marvin, say bye. You gotta tell Wag at least.